Well, we went to the mall today, but we didn't get any pictures. Sorry. Next time. Tomorrow night we're going to the Don Ho show.
How did you actually meet the Secretary of Defense?
We'll see how Aunt Jane spends her vacation. Right there, look at her. Say something, Aunt Jane.
She's playing.
Well, I've been up since, what time? 6 o'clock. And I just now got food. And I'm sort of tired.
We're getting ready to go to the beach.
So I'll lay down and rest a few minutes, then we're going to the beach.
I'm going to show everybody our room. We got 3 beds.
Tell the maid hadn't been in
The
yet.
maid hasn't been in yet, but it looks lived in. We like that. I like that look.
If you tell we're on vacation, you tell Missy.
Yeah, we're not doing housework. We got a safe there.
Tell
We
Missy.
got a little refrigerator right under the TV. We got a table and some chairs. And the one bed over there makes a day bed. We got a beautiful balcony.
Tell them the only thing bad about it, we don't have a tub.
No, we don't have a tub. We got a shower. We got the nicest clothes closet here with all of our junk in it. Look at it. Isn't that neat? Put all your stuff in it, and then we've got a beautiful bathroom in here. We got a shower over in this corner. And we got a mode.
Got this
And a
one.
sink.
Tell them.
Yeah, I told them. I told
Oh,
them.
tell them about our car. Let's show them.
Oh, we got the most fantastic car. It's a Toyota Tercel station wagon. And we're tickled to death with it because it was the only one in Hawaii that wasn't already rented.
You got that right.
They just write their cards. And you can see how pretty everything is when we're getting ready to go to the beach.
Get ready to go out in the water.
And we drove around Honolulu and didn't have a wreck or anything.
And we went to the biggest mall in the world today, the Ala Moana Mall. The biggest one in the whole wide world.
We saw about 1/100th of it.
And we bought 2 cups and
For
2 pounds of coffee. That's all.
3 pounds.
I went to, yeah.
3 calendars. And who did we buy those cups for? Chemo and what's his name?
Kioki.
Kioki. Chemo and Kioki.
We bought it for Chemo James and Kioki George.
Right.
George.
And Daddy, we're not watching Another World here. We just got it on.
Don't forget to take days. Oh, he can't hear me. I thought he was on the phone. I'm sorry. I thought you told me to do it on the phone. Crazy.
And we're just now checking to make sure that the...
Oh, look at that fan out.
Isn't it beautiful? This is looking down toward Pearl Harbor and whatever. See how pretty. Now we're looking at the beach. You'll see Diamond Head right there. If you look over, this is our hotel. And down that way. And here is Aunt Jane and Anita Louise. If Daddy was here, he'd be right there at the U.S. Army Museum. And this is just a public beach, Waikiki Beach there. Water, my feet are burning off.
There's Lydia going to the beach. She's going to get in the water and test it and see how cold it is before we get in it.
wish you were here. That's
Having
good.
fun?
Having fun. Great time. Beautiful day.
Tell him whatever.
I love him. I wish he was here so we could go to that U.S. Army Museum. So I know that'd be the first place he'd hear. And there goes a guy with a, look at him. Looks like I do. I'm not
I
really
have my
sure.
glasses on so I can't see it.
It sort of looks like
Something going up
kite
the
or
side.
something. Yeah, a kite going up the side of the diamond head there. I can't really tell.
What is that around the side? Is that a road?
Yeah, you can drive right up in the crater.
Oh, then that, oh, yeah.
Crater's
Well,
hollow.
we'll have to check it out. Won't we?
We'll check her out. Oh, the water's beautiful and nice and warm. There's Cassie right dead center here with her hat. Well, that's looking up. And this is... Isn't it beautiful? The water's so pretty. And that's looking down there. It's a big plane in the air. Down in the ocean. So I can get that fill out from behind them. This is in the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center.
I'm pretty sure that you're going to take the elevator.
Yeah, I can. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? The trees. There's a band over the background. This is the Sheraton. And if you watch it along you can see them at the main top up there, the elevator, it's the glass elevator. And here it comes down. Here it comes. It's like a jungle here. This is in the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center. This is downtown Waikiki. That's pretty over there. I don't know if you can see the water coming down there. It doesn't show up very well. There it is. What's the other side of the waterfall? There's Aunt Jane. Here's somebody cornered over there. Anita. This is... Looking down the mall. Oh, here we are at the International Mart.
This little girl here, she don't talk. Male at the top. You have one before? That's a long day. Yeah. You can hold it? Sure. Friendship, back. Dinner camera. You want to put it back far away. This is what I do for work over here. I want to ask for a small donation of $2.
That's what you got. Yeah, I like something like this.
Yeah.
Darren.
I don't know.
Darren?
What? I like the bird. You know how much this bird is?
on the international market. I think they got all the birds, and all the people, and that's how Anita and James spend most of their time. International market. It's still the international market. Oh, there's Daddy's favorite store, ABC. This is the Waikiki Shopping Plaza. It's so beautiful. And here's the theater. This is the one that has the red top that revolves. There's a tree in there. Downtown Waikiki, and it's like from daylight to dark. All the people in their dress from bathing suits to hula skirts. James sitting over here, resting. I'm not going to see it at night. Here's a little kitty. I was going to take a picture of the little kitty cat, but I'm gone.
That don't have any, the water's not coming down there now, is it? It doesn't make the animal right there.
Killa Makaya? Killa Kala. Whatever. Oh, here comes the little kitty cat. Right there, there's somebody in their limo. Little bicycle. They're called kitty cats. Little kitty cat. Here goes one. Good morning, downtown Honolulu. We're going right down there to eat breakfast this morning. Out, you can't see because it's all covered with trees. You can see everybody out. We're on the hills, how pretty. Down toward Diamond Head to your right. Buildings, isn't it? I hear a wiki buzz blowing. Getting ready.
Getting ready for breakfast.
Room's a mess again.
Then tonight we're going to boogie to the Dime Ho show, as Passion said. Right?
Right.
Look at this gorgeous city, guys. I'm afraid of this little porch here. Look at our palm trees. Almost reach out and touch it. Huh. But we have to tell them what time it is here in the morning now. Right now it is
It's 5 minutes after 8.
5 minutes after 8 in the morning.
And it's 5 minutes after 2 at home. Dad's watching Another World. He's with Wallingford and Felicia. The hotel right in front of us is the what? So over here, the big new one, the
Right next to
Iliaki or something. What is it?
the Halikali.
Halikali. There you go. It's the newest one and it's the most expensive.
The lady says downstairs that when you walk inside that hotel, it's like walking into another world.
So we're gonna have to go over and check it out.
So we have to go make some movies of it.
It's right next door to us. There's somebody going surfing. Hang loose down there.
Surfing USA. You have to sing.
I told him hang loose. And right there he goes.
Do you know what you forgot to tell him yesterday?
This one right here.
It's beautiful.
big
Right out on the
expensive.
street.
Well, if it is too much, let them stay where we are and go in there and look at it.
Say something, Aunt Jane. Good morning.
Good morning.
Aloha.
Aloha. I think this is a good place to eat. It's nice in here.
It's all outside.
And it's outside. This is nice.
Well, I have to take it so I can get Lydia in here. Say,
Aloha.
Okay.
Right.
There's Granny.
And this is the front street, and our hotel is right there where the sunshine's hitting.
We're eating
To
outside.
the back of it. We're on the corner of Lures and Kalea Street in downtown Waikiki.
Okay, keep going.
And today is Friday, the 14th of August, 1987. And tonight we're going to go see Don Ho. We're really excited about that. And today we're going to get in our little Toyota Tercel station wagon and drive up to Diamond Head. And then we're going to come out and lay in the beach.
Right after breakfast.
Right.
And these are the little things that you eat under. Little
Rachel is our
canopies. There's Granny. And as soon as we eat, we're going to boogie out.
boogie on out.
Aloha till later.
Tercel, and we're driving up the, what's the name of the highway? Whatever. Tuckaloo or whatever.
Close enough.
And that's Diamond Head up there. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful, and that's right at Diamond Head. Look at that focus and everything.
Oh, you don't have it open? Okay. Might be shaking a little bit
Okay, well,
because of the car. I can't help it, you know.
so much fun.
I'll tell you what I'm getting though. I'm getting mostly trees. Like, you see, I'm looking right through the trees. Is there any place where it's kind of open? turn it off.
So just keep on
Keep on
taking.
going.
Stop right. How about right there?
Oh, that's beautiful.
You believe it's a lot of water.
This is beautiful.
Big is a lot of water, isn't it?
This is on Diamond Head Road, or Boulevard, whichever. And I'm shaken because of the car. You have to stop and start like. And do you know that this is going uphill? You feel it? Guys? Going up.
See this outcropping of rocks? That's all volcanic rock. That's part of Diamond Head.
Look at all these big trees here. Want me to turn it off now? All big trees going through here now. Oh, look at the lighthouse.
Want to get a picture of it?
Might as well. A couple seconds, huh? Get my head out here so I can see. Oh, there it is. This is the lighthouse. Going up Diamond Head and someone else's house up there. Isn't it gorgeous?
Right here. Okay, now we're standing up on the thing looking out toward the ocean. But isn't it beautiful? Got some surfers out in the distance. I don't know if you can see them, but they're surfing. All down, all the way down. Why? Parasailing out there. Isn't the water beautiful? I'm going to pan around here and let you see. There's the lighthouse through the trees. Here's Aunt Jane and Anita, and this is our little Toyota Tercel. See our little station wagon? How cute! And then right to the back of the station wagon, here's Diamond Head. See, right up there.
Lydia,
Yeah.
look at the ship.
Okay.
All the way to your left.
I can't tell what kind it is. Isn't the water beautiful?
Look how that is coming up that white river there.
It's in front of Diamond Head to my right, and the lighthouse up here to the
Hey,
left.
look at the people right here.
Yeah, that's on top of Diamond Head. There's all kinds of people up there. They look like lamps. It's beautiful. It's about 80 degrees out. Perfect weather.
Feels like 180.
Yeah, it's a little warm, but it's not too warm. The water's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I think this is where they probably make a lot of this photos for travel magazines and such. It's gorgeous. Wish everybody could be here to see it. Bobby and George has already seen it. Probably too drunk to remember it, but they saw it.
They probably luau all the time.
we can't. We're gonna go to sit on hoe tonight, so after a few Mai Tais, we might not see it anymore. But it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Maybe we can see
It's hard to imagine. It's really.
Yeah, it's gone now. That's a
Nothing. We're here on Diamond Head and we're watching them surf. I don't know if you can see those guys down there, but they're dotted along through there. That water. Beautiful. It's a windsurfer and there's some biggies down there, some big waves. Guys coming up the road. This is Diamond Head Road. I hope that water shows up as pretty as it is in person, with that blue and green. Here we are on top of going up Diamond Head Road, and I just wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like out through there. It is absolutely out of this world gorgeous. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? They're pretty out through there, all the little houses. Yeah, and we're going up a road that looks just about like Beach Creek. I don't know if you can see it. This is going to Diamond.
Can I stick my head up this window?
Sure you can. This is a big tunnel or something we're going through in Diamond Head.
5 miles an hour.
Here we are inside Diamond Head Crater. As you can see, you can walk up to the top and look out. Now, we were on the other side of this just a few minutes ago looking up at it. This is inside the crater. How about that? And if you notice over here, we're panning on now, this is a civil defense unit, part of the Army, whatever. You can see the thing or not. This is Diamond Head State Monument. It's gorgeous. And we're inside the crater. If you take that hike, you can go all the way up to the top. Of course, I'm not really sure I'd want to. It's like a long, hot trip to me. Of course, now I know if James Seabolt here, he would be more adventurous. And this is Diamond Head, inside the crater. We had to come through that tunnel to get inside the crater. It was neat. If I'm not panning too fast, it's just that there's just so much to look at. And there's Aunt Jane and Anita over through there. Here you can see our Hertz rental car. Look what pretty a license plate. Has Hawaii, and on the bottom has the Aloha State on it. There you can see one on that car, Hawaii, Aloha State. Anyway, this is our little old Toyota Tercel here, as you can see. There you go. It's really neat. Very pretty little car. And we'll pan around and see a pretty hibiscus tree there. You can tell that's a state flower. They're all over Croatia. I said we're still inside still inside Diamond Head Crater. Very pretty. Very hot out today. Aunt Jane, looks like a green bean tree there. Jane and Anita are gone into the bathroom and I'm killing time. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know if you can see up on the main top up there, that little outlook post, but they have trails that go up to each one of those points and you can go up there. There's quite a few people up there. You probably don't show up on the camera, but it's just dotted with little people up there. Sure tell the Air Force is here. There's a plane that goes over about every 20 seconds. Hard to believe at one time this was in a volcano erupting with all the lava. I expected it to be darker and not grassy, but I guess. Here you can see the sign, Diamond Head State Monument. Of course, you can see Diamond Head all around. Hard to walk and take pictures. Of course, there's a little car over there. Can you see him?
Wait a minute.
I mean, there's one. There's. I don't know if there's one. There's a woman in the back.
In the back, there's a lady in that rolls.
It looks like a lady and a man. Can you see?
Look at this old roll.
It says Cloud 3. It has to be Joan Collins, or it looks like Joan Collins'
star,
hair.
and that's a roll. It's right in front of
Look
us.
at that.
I'd give anything to know who it is.
I would too.
Wonder what year.
I got it.
At the Hawaiian Hilton. This right through here is nothing but just shops. It's old Benny Haha. I'll show you how pretty Aunt Jane and Anita look. Stand up, Aunt Jane, and model. And here we are at Don Ho Polynesian Extravaganza, and it's going to take us a few minutes to get in. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's a dome. You can't see through all the weeds here. But it's really very pretty. And there's quite a few people. Very beautiful. That's the Hawaiian Hilton with the big rainbow.
Action, camera.
We're here at Don Ho.
See our little torches in the back.
I've got the ticket here. This is Don Ho. We're excited. We wish everybody was here. Wish you all couldn't afford to go.
Really?
These are all the torches, and then that's part of a Hawaiian Hilton also, and all these people are coming, going in different limousines and Rolls Royce and whatever.
It's beautiful. Down through here.
Get all these people here waiting to go into the Don Ho show.
Here we are at Don Ho. Polynesian Extravaganza. This is really pretty around here. Pretty flowers. Security guard standing over there. Look at that.
submarines, 5 of which were carrying 2-man midget subs attached to their backs.
Just down in Pearl Harbor.
At 3:45 on the morning of December the 7th, 1941, the USS Condor had just completed a routine minesweeping run just off Quebec. The watch officer aboard the Condor spotted the conning tower of a small submarine in an area off limits to United States subs. The officer radioed the destroyer USS Ord, which was patrolling nearby, and for nearly an hour, Ord tried to find the submarine, but was not successful. Nearly 2 hours later, the supply ship USS Antares was nearing the channel entrance, towing a barge behind it. In the gray dawn, the helmsman aboard the Ord could barely make out the shape of the submarine, following very closely behind the barge being towed by the Antares. The Ord maneuvered to the scene and dropped 4 depth charges. The submarine disappeared. A half hour later, another submarine was picked up by the Ord sonar, and again the destroyer dropped depth charges. Soon a black oil slick spread along the surface of the water. The radio officer of the Ord sent a message to 14th Naval District Headquarters. Fired on and safe submarine operating in defensive sea area. Didn't reach headquarters until 7:40 a.m., just 15 minutes before the air attack. Even after the message, no one was sent. Right-hand side is called the Cocolau Range. If you look directly to your right, now about a third of the way up one of the ridges of the Cocolaus, you'll see a large pink building with an expansive green lawn in front of it. This is Tripler Army Medical Center, built after the war and today the largest military hospital in the Pacific. Tripler is operated jointly by all services and has a peacetime bed capacity of 1,500 patients. Sent the enemy submarine to the bottom of the harbor.
But I know what those people are saying. I'm mighty happy, huh? The Japanese aircraft bore down on people's field. Their targets were so exposed that in minutes the airbase was out of action. Flames of tanks were blazing. Only a half dozen aircraft were able to get into the air that morning. Today, Hickam Air Force Base remains a large and important airport. The headquarters of the
dock area, soon to come along the right, you will notice a low-lying black gate, or caisson. This is the gate to dry dock number 4, the largest dry dock at Pearl Harbor. It is, in fact, larger than any of the locks of the Panama Canal. More than 1,000 feet long, 150 feet wide, and a little more than 50 feet deep. To use the dry dock, it is simply flooded with water. Once the water level is the same on the inside and outside, a tug comes along and tows the gate out of the way. Ships are run in, secured in place, the gate is put back, and the water is pumped out. It takes about 3 hours to complete this operation.
Oh my goodness.
Those large cranes you see are mounted on wheels and on a track. Not only can they move up and down both sides of the dry dock, but they are able to move almost any place within the main repair section of the harbor. They can pick up a piece of the machinery from one of the ships at dry dock and take it over to the proper shop for repair or maintenance. The building to the left of dry dock 4 is the power plant. It was there during the war. It is interesting to note that the walls and roof are several feet thick, capable of withstanding a conventional bomb blast. However, not a nuclear one.
This is so nice or whatever. I can go to sleep. And you tanning food, you know, nothing. Just lay down and go right out.
Of South Channel, the one opening up on the right. Take you as close as we can into the main repair section of the harbor. Pretty much the heart of Pearl Harbor today.
Yep, here it is. You see some other nice ships down here, huh?
1946, she was selected as the central target ship in the initial Bikini Atoll atomic bomb test. She was severely damaged in the tests, but survived them and was towed back to Pearl Harbor. Here in the harbor, scientists studied her for several months. When they were finished, it was decided that she was so radioactive she could never be used again, not even for scrapping. They towed the Nevada out to sea and sank. Firing at the attacking airplanes, downing 3 of them. One aircraft crashed into the ship, setting it on fire. At 8:06 a.m., just 11 minutes after the attack started, the Curtiss diverted its fire to one of the Japanese midget submarines mentioned earlier. After a brief burst of fire, the Curtiss stopped as the Monahan bore down on the submarine and dropped depth charges.
That's Fort Allen.
The submarine
No
sank
longer
just
use
about
that
where we're
for
cruising right now.
aircraft. Only private individuals can fly their planes in and out, he said. But it still belongs to the United States Navy.
This side of Fort Island, to your right, belongs to the U.S. Army's Landing Craft Support Base. During the war, this area was the old aircraft carrier row where the carriers moored during World War II. At the time of the Pearl Harbor attack, there were 3 carriers assigned to the Pacific Fleet: the Saratoga, the Enterprise, and the Lexington. None was in the harbor that morning. Had they been, they probably would have been sunk or damaged just as the battleships were. The loss of even one of these carriers would have drastically affected the course of the war in the Pacific. If you will remember, it was only a few months later, at the Battle of Midway, that these same 3 carriers struck the Japanese fleet and sank a great number of their ships. Had the Japanese succeeded in taking Midway, they could have returned to the Hawaiian Islands. Most historians agree that the Battle of Midway was the turning point of the Pacific War. She was one of the first ships sent to the bottom by the Japanese aircraft. This was the old battleship USS Utah, and the wreck of the Utah is now coming up along the right. The Utah was a World War I battleship which at the time of the attack was all but decommissioned. Her guns and a great deal of machinery had been stripped away, and her decks were cemented over. Periodically, the Utah was sent to sea for gunnery and bombing practice, and on that Sunday morning, there was only a skeleton crew aboard. When the attack began, these men were immediately ordered ashore because the ship had no guns to defend itself. Tragically, 58 of these men never made it to safety. Since their bodies were never recovered, we must assume they are entombed in the wreck today. Looking very closely in the center of the cemented area, you'll note a small bronze plaque. It reads, "In memory, officers and men, USS Utah, lost in action 7 December 1941. Completely around the vessel. You can still see some of the exposed cables on her exposed decks. The Utah was then rolled and tucked into her present position. She is down in about 40 feet of water and tipped toward us at a 45-degree angle. Yet all you can see of this 600-foot ex-battleship is less than 10% of her upper deck area." Moored to this dock to the right on the morning of the attack were 2 light cruisers, the Raleigh and the Detroit. The Raleigh was extensively damaged in the attack, although the Navy did manage to keep her afloat with the aid of flotation tanks. Miraculously, none of her crew were killed. The Detroit, however, turned out to be the luckiest ship of the major vessels in harbor that Sunday morning. She managed to steam out of here unscathed, and as she left, she filled the sky with anti-aircraft fire. The Navy credited the Detroit with shooting down several Japanese aircraft on her dash to the open sea.
There's the Hula Bowl, home of the Hula Bowl. And Pro Bowl was held here. Look at the rain in the background. I think you can see it raining over there. It's just like in sheets of rain over on the mountain. It's hot and sunny.
by the Japanese at that point. And there has been speculation that it was suspected. If the Japanese had planned to turn the Hawaii, they would have needed that supply of fuel then and now. The problem for the Japanese. It turns out the fuel was used by the Americans almost immediately to start tracking down the Japanese naval forces in the Pacific. As we mentioned earlier, the U.S. Navy was able to keep on the Japanese fleet in just a few months after the Pearl Harbor attack. It was not as if possible without adequate repairs and precision. Of these two concrete piers, dolphins, they're sometimes called, was the battleship Nevada, the one that was able to get underway that morning, but was ordered on the ground. As the Nevada managed to get away from her berth, she narrowly missed the flaming stern of the battleship Arizona. And the wreckage of the Arizona is next ahead, and to the right, where you see the flag. The Arizona was one of the larger ships we had in commission that morning, 608 feet long, 32,600 tons. Today, you are seeing her resting in an upright position, facing down the channel in the same direction we're going, with her main decks beneath approximately 10 feet in water. The Arizona was hit by a number of bombs, torpedoes that morning, but the one the Navy believes did the most damage was the 1,000-pound naval armor-piercing artillery shell that had been converted for an airdrome. It penetrated the foredeck and exploded in the forward powder magazine. This in turn set off the ship's boilers, rupturing the ship in many places at the same time. The Arizona sank in only 8 minutes. This first orange boat to the right marks the stern of the Arizona. A little bit later, we'll show you the one that marks the bottom. The first round, rusty object you see is the big quarter number 3 guns in the front. The guns have long since been removed. Behind the base of the guns are the rusty remains of 2 of the ventilator shafts that led below to the crew's quarters and engine room. The normal crew complement of the Arizona was about 1,200 officers and men. Among her at the time of the attack were 1,543. Today, it is presumed that the bodies of more than 1,100 of those men are entombed in the hull of the Arizona. They represent almost every rank and rate in the Navy, all the way from apprentice seamen to and including a real admiral. I'm sure you may have been wondering why these bodies were not recovered. The answer is that immediately after the attack, the Navy had a tremendous job. They gave priorities to raising and repairing ships that could be put back into action. It was months before they got around to looking at the Arizona. And then they sent divers below to look at the sunken ship. The divers managed to recover the bodies. In the process, divers. The entire inside of the Arizona was manned with equipment, making it for extremely hazardous conditions for diving. The Navy felt it would be a needless danger and possible sacrifice, so the diving operations were called on, and ceremonies were held aboard the Arizona. The men now are considered buried at sea. The Arizona herself officially lost the attack. She is, however, still definitely in commission, which is why you see the flag flying to the north. But it is at the top of the mast, instead of at half deck. The gleaming white structure of the hull is on the of all battleships that morning, was damaged, but not too badly. It was back in action in 6 weeks. The Oklahoma, moored out there, took the brunt of the attack directed at both ships and rapidly rolled over and sank upside down. The rolling over is recreation day. The ship's track quantities of air and cost. Naval Yard workers were cutting through that exploded bottom up to 36 hours after the attack. Releasing crew members who had been trapped inside and were still alive. The yard workers rescued 34 men who had remained alive. The battleship California was moored to the dock at the back of this small bay off to the right. She was hit almost immediately by several bombs, and her deck area was blew in flames. The order was given to abandon ship, but the crew continued to fight the flames. It was a struggle that went on for 3 days before the crew gave up, and eventually the California settled in the corner of the channel. But we are unable to see very much of it here. Many of the submarines based here are nuclear powered, and their numbers and movements are kept relatively quiet, but maybe. Down in the corner of the dock area, to the left, you'll see another low-lying black gate location. This is the gate to dry dock number 1, and in that dry dock on the morning of the attack were 2 ships, the Pennsylvania, the Castle, and the Down. The Pennsylvania was the 8th of the commission's battle. The Castle and Down were both close to small bay, close to the location of the land. On the morning of the attack, up to that day, was a floating dry dock containing the destroyer USS Cole. Late in the attack, a bomb fell through the corridor and exploded in the forward carbon negative, setting off probably the most spectacular explosion of the day, spreading debris over a wide area. And the shawl was raised, eventually, they found
the airport looking for Waikiki. Cement block there in front of you is where they put the submarine nets or harbor nets or whatever they call them across it. Leaving Pearl Harbor, going back to Waikiki. Look how the airport is. They built the airport out. See Diamond Head straight ahead. There's a picture to the left of it is Terry. Runway is way out. Alright, you see the little blue thing up on top? That's our hotel. And our room.
You wasn't about that lady, no?
I don't see a lady. No, we're way on up there, you can see our little blue flag.
I can't see where the cannon is. I thought it was
And that's at the Reef Hotel.
Jim, what are you doing? Inventory? Shut up.
And Jane, look around here. Say aloha.
Cheers.
Aloha.
Aloha. Aloha, Green. Aloha. Now,
This is downtown Waikiki. There's our hotel. See, we're way up there. Oh yeah, there comes the Wiki Wiki. What we're doing now is we're going on Highway 1 somewhere. East, west, we don't know. But anyway, we wanted to show you now how it's raining back on top of those mountains. I don't know if you can see it and all the fog and all. And then down here the sun is shining and it's absolutely gorgeous. Well, that's traffic, doesn't beautiful home. They're on a bus. Puka Point or wherever. And I want you to see how beautiful the water. And there's a lot of boats here. It says no skiing though. Some jet ski. You can see back a little bit, looking back toward the. It's hard to believe how beautiful it is. There's Aunt John. And on around here to this water. And we're right on the ocean. How beautiful this is. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? Quite a few people here today. They do all the snorkeling and a lot of diving.
Hi there. Granny, you're on the movie. Or on a new. Can you take a picture?
Beautiful here. I hope the color comes out on this as pretty as it really is. You get everything from real pale green to black to dark blue to turquoise to navy blue. Straight in the middle of the camera now is a place called Blowhole. And what it is the water goes under that rock formation over there and it comes up. You can see it spouting here in a few minutes. It should. There it is. It's up in the middle of the pool. Or the land, whatever.
Okay. All right. This is
Like everybody's having a good time down there. I don't think I'd walk down there if they give me the beach.
Lord, no.
And I know I would push Aunt Jane down there. I push her down, but somebody pushed me back up. It's beautiful. Look how far out they can swim.
oh my gosh. Look at
Isn't that something?
beautiful.
Way over on top of that mountain is it flat? You have to be able to drive up that road. I know if James were here, he'd be snorkeling. Everett. Everett.
Snorkeling.
Hope all that pretty color comes out because it's everything from light green to dark blue.
What is that in the bottom? Is that a big rock or what is that?
That's coral
Is that
reef.
coral?
Rocks and coral reef. It's beautiful though. Absolutely. I just hope that it comes out that pretty in the picture.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I want to turn my glasses off so you can see my nose. You should have seen it last night. I don't want to get my nose any more sunburned. But it's beautiful. Can you imagine how pretty it was 100 years ago or 200 years ago?
Yeah, really. Beautiful.
And it's hot out here.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's hot.
After all the rain we had this morning.
Yeah, it rained this morning. Poured down the rain like twice for about 3 minutes. And it rained last night.
Yeah.
The place over there is called Blowhole in that far back right here.
Did you get all that down to the left? All that
Yeah, I tried to get
coral?
That's enough anytime you're ready.
Okay, here we are at Blowhole.
And it is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you can see all this. And I'm going to show you Blowhole in just a minute. It's kind of walk out toward the edge. And right here's Blowhole, right there. Can you see it? Yeah.
Right here.
Right there.
He's getting ready to dive.
Can you see him diving there?
He's getting ready to go.
Woo!
Wasn't as far as I thought it was going to be.
Look here, a blowhole. Right here it is. Yeah, in the water. There it is. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That is gorgeous. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look here. Anita, look here. Isn't that beautiful? I hope everything turns out as pretty on this camera as it really is. You folks can see it. It is just gorgeous. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh, isn't that pretty?
very much to walk in.
I don't want to get any closer, I don't think. Don't close enough. Yeah.
That's how far it came in.
Here, it's gonna come out.
Hey, it's the same as right here. Plus you have to walk through all that water.
Well, it really came up.
Plus you have to walk through all that water.
Everybody's ready, aren't they?
Wipe it off on my shower.
Has to be so much water.
Did it about 2 or 3 times in a row. You did? It did. See?
Yeah, this is what you call it, Magnificent Day. And it's just little uninhabited islands around Oahu. But it's so beautiful. There's several of them. And we're at the far eastern tip of Oahu. Going around the island to the other side. I think we're on the other side from Waikiki. Very beautiful. This is where Raiders of the Lost Ark was made, on this side of the island. On the mountain, come here. And I'm going to walk up through here and show you how beautiful it is out here. Way, way away. I hope so. There's Aunt Jane in our little car. And you can see the mountain. It's like fog on the mountain.
I have to take it through the window.
That's okay, it'll come out.
Look at that. Okay, we're going through. They look like there's a million people is over there. I don't know what the name of it is. Does it have a name?
Yes, it's Nakamu Pali Tunnels.
Going through the tunnel. What's that window left there? Boy, is it hard to grow up. Okay, I have to.
Here we are. It's the mouth. Want to get Aunt Jane's picture. How pretty she looks. Anita. Anita.
When you
This is the table in there. Beachfront in the Sheraton Royal Hawaiian. And the Diamond Head if you're the
On this part of the beach, so they just. Oh, sorry. Did I get in your way?
Oh, that's okay now.
That's it. We can see it from our balcony. We can see it from the other day. It's so lovely.
Quite a few people there for the well. Those are the stores right there. It's kind of where the stages are.
I would like to feature another cousin of ours called He Said Guitar.
Brown bottom and orange.
Join us here on stage.
For sale.
One thing's up
Upside down.
Smile, to all the Halloween weekend. was so sweet and slow. When we got to and fro, just like trees going to the tropical breeze, and I do burn to the hula like they do in Honolulu, where they are me and me home. Our business.
I got her too.
Come on stage and pull on will teach you how to dance. I know everybody start backing up. It's in Hawaii. No means yes.
And Jane drinks another Mai Tai, she'll be able to do it.
Is anyone out there who's just wants to learn how to dance the hula? I know you like to learn how to dance the hula. Now's the time to do it, okay?
It's on. They're all up there learning how to do the hula.
This is gonna be good fun.
They're all learning how to do the hula. Walk out farther so I can see your dress all the way. Oh, that's gorgeous, you know?
Tonight we're going to be, what we did for the show, we have a calabash full of Hawaiian numbers.
Where'd that guy go? We get a hold of him.
And we
Put him
dipped
in
into
our
our calabash, pulled out a slip of paper to see what song we're going to be teaching them tonight. And tonight we're going to teach them the
about the rain in old Hawaii. A stranger came one day, and by the Hilo Bay he found a maid with loving stars. So magic was their love that in the skies above Hawaii no clouds appeared at all, and rain forgot to fall as long as she was in his arms. I'm in the flowers where dreams grow and love to how lovely and fragrant the hours, how mighty a paradise for two. Then from her home above, the mighty goddess of Hawaii reached out across the land, and with a jealous hand she took the stranger for her own. She turned the lady love into a cloud above going down, but what he did, yeah, I'm on it.
From San Francisco to Honolulu, board the Pan American Clipper will take about 16 hours. First glimpse of the Hawaiian Islands, on your left, the peaks of Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea rising above the clouds in the Big Island of Hawaii. If you look to the right, you'll see the islands of Lanai, Maui, and Molokai. Please prepare for landing. We are approaching the island of Oahu and our destination, Honolulu.
Here comes the ring of ukulele. Everybody needs to let up. Nobody needs to play the ukulele. Singing the voice with the hula hoye, the hula ukulele. Here comes the ring of ukulele. Everybody needs to let up. Nobody needs to play the ukulele. Singing the voice with the hula hoye, the hula ukulele. All the Yankees hold the ukulele against the hula ukulele, the hula on the open, the hula ukulele flies so high, it's like the moon in the sky. Help me love. Yo, you saw the way, the hula ukulele flies so high, we don't get see. Flies so low, below the sea. The bird flies into a tree. And for you and me, the hula ukulele, I the mind, I'm the Capuana. The hula ukulele, the hula ukulele. And me, oh, the hula ukulele, I the mind, I'm the Capuana. The hula ukulele.
Though my heart may sob to aloha when I sail away, how my heart will throb to the thought of coming back someday. And when my dreams of love come true, and there'll be hopefully how for a little fella how might do Hawaiian hospitality. One more time. Aloha! Along the beach at Waikiki, these fair Wahinas are waiting for me. With their dark eyes and lovable charms, they've got Hawaiian hospitality. Beneath the moon we'll stroll along, and life is just like a beautiful song. When they whisper, come into my arms, she's got that old Hawaiian hospitality. Though my heart may sob to aloha when I sail away, how my heart will throb to the thought of coming back someday. And when my dreams of love come true, and they'll be hopefully how for two, a little fella how might do Hawaiian hospitality, sweet Hawaiian hospitality, Hawaiian hospitality. Prophecy in the lines of the chant Auagia. At first, its meaning was clouded, but as time passed, its meaning became painfully clear. The death of the royal line, Kamehameha, suppression of the ancient religion, gods and goddesses, and the disappearance of most things Hawaiian. A challenge too was left to the Hawaiian people. Hold fast to your special heritage.
Te ave tu ia laia Auaia e te mai tōna motu, o tōna motu e te mai auaia, o te mata 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 mai tauri, o te mata 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 mai tauri, uria manami o ati lalo e te alo, uria te mu, o tahanga nai ati o ula ula, kai akari, e raku pena tua mōi tua miaki, tua mōi, ola, ola, te ave i tu e ala aia, Nana ihala bebe, ta hulua o ta mo. Ihale ia I te tumari o ne ue, o e ke koe ana o e ke ka mea nui, o hala ua nei.
They are now used as slates to capture birds.
Anu
Polynesia, we have a tradition sharing with one another. Now we've shared with you, so we're going to ask you folks to come share. It's dangerous to be by, huh? Okay, we got a little guy up here who's going to try it. All right.
Here at the hotel. They checked in and went up to their room. One of the first things that they did notice while checking in and checking their room out was that the beddings were of soft satin sheets. Well, they got ready and got themselves situated in the rooms, came down to the lobby and familiarized themselves with the area. They saw that the columns were of beautiful marble, arched just like our rainbow. Well, they got through the lobby, out to the garden area, and headed for the beach. Once there, they saw how the sea rushed up and caressed the sand, and the scent of the seaweed welcomed them warmly. Hotel. We know well, we call out proudly her name, Royal Hawaiian Hotel. And I'd like to thank my friends Paul, Lucky, and Kalaki Mao Thurston for coming up here and telling me this wonderful story.
We are in the International Marketplace. There goes Brady and Lydia. This is a huge place. There's a restaurant over here called Pastry Shop. That's where that lady's singing. Island clothes, jewelry, all this stuff.
We're still at the International Bazaar, and there's a bird having a fit there. You can look out through. There's ant growing down there. Really pretty.
In the middle. Aren't
thought I was
they
gonna get-
beautiful?
I like to see bridge. I did right there on that bridge, like this. And that's center and flowers and ribbons at the bottom there.
That's okay. Go ahead. Thank you. International Bazaar. Fear me with your heat kitchen. This is the pool area. Of course, you have the poolside bar. I don't know if you can see this over here, but in the far end of the pool, it's like it's an underwater bar, and there's a window. So, of course, it's still part of the room. I'm going to get over here so I can post this on the side of the room. That's the street shot with the mocha to the mountains. And the red and blue. This way is the Shane and Anita are sitting over there in the shade. It really looks like a huge pool. Aloha Airlines. This is Maui International Airport. see in the background the pretty mountains or not?
Taking our flight from Maui and we're going to Hilo. This is a bit of the scenery as we go up. Nice, huh?
Those on the island. Summer is known for its beautiful orchids, anthuriums, macadamia nuts, and papayas. It's also the only spot in the United States where coffee is grown for commercial purposes.